Peace and blessings, everybody. Once again, I am on the air. I here enjoying the atmosphere. I don't know if y'all can fully see me or not. The lighting look a little different from the camera. Hope y'all can see me and hear me, fam. I'm outside enjoying the sun, getting my sunbathing on, and I hope you did the same today. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, then go ahead and subscribe at DOCTAHCOPELAND. Need to get them numbers up, you know what I mean? And also press that like button. And of course, if you right here on IG, go ahead and follow me, family. If it's your first time tuning in, I appreciate you. Make sure that you follow me and definitely call me for my services that I have available. Go to my website. The link should be down below. Let me move forward. Today, once again, we are talking about that sugar, family. I told y'all I'd be back again with another one about sugar, family. It's very interesting stuff that I've learned in the last couple of weeks about sugar, you know what I'm saying, and how it's used and everything, and how it affects our body. They say it's a new, what they call it, fungus or bacteria. You know how they do. They say it's spreading rapidly. Candida acis or something, or acis or something like that, sus or something like that. It's a new fungi coming out, and y'all need to go check that out, before they really start pumping it up. But the thing about a fungi or a candida itself, you know what I'm saying, is dealing with yeast. And so, if you know anything about yeast, you got to cut back some of the white processed bread products, and definitely your dairy products, and definitely the sugar, family. I mean, that's what we come to talk about today. Once again, it is about that sugar. I think the last time we talked about sugar, we learned a few things. We learned about the discovery of insulin around 1929, by Dr. Frederick Banton, who came up with insulin. Definitely after so many people was getting sick, dying, and getting things amputated and all types of stuff, I'm assuming. We also learned about Dr. Thomas Willis. If y'all can look him up, he's the one that pretty much first to describe in writing the extraordinary sweetness of urine. He described it as diabetes mellitus. And he was the first one, that's Dr. Willis, to come up with that, you know what I mean? First one, kind of smell your urine and taste it and say, you know what? It's kind of sweet like honey, family. And so pretty much that's how they used to pretty much say you had diabetes back then, family, was tasting and smelling your urine. I just can't get over that yet. You know what I'm saying? Somebody standing in front of me, I just peed in a cup, you know what I mean? And they sat there, tasting my urine. But that's another subject for another day that we need to go into, right? We also, what else did we learn last time? If you haven't, watched it, definitely go back into my IG and check out the 1, 2, and 3 parts that I did on sugar, on the first part of sugar anyway. Then we on, I guess, number 4, talking about sugar, EP4. And one of the other things I learned also about the sugar thing, before 1516, Britain upper class was different as far as their breakfast before the introduction of sugar. You know what I'm saying? I guess the things that they chose to eat at that time also spoke about what they used to bleach sugar, which was blood, they might still do, and charred animal bones. Charred animal bones was some of the ways that they bleached sugar, or is bleaching sugar. I'll let y'all go find out that information and get back with me and tell me what y'all learned. Also, we learned about by 1911, right? You had Dr. Funk, or Casimir Funk, came up with vitamins. You know what I'm saying? We talked about vitamins in our last segment as well. And we learned that vita is life, and amin means the amino acid components of protoplasma, okay? Which give you the whole word of vitamin. Okay, so what they also call coenzymes is another, or you got enzymes, then you got the coenzymes, and so the coenzymes is also considered our vitamins, family. And so we had in 1912, just to go back over, we had Mr. McCollum came up with the first fat soluble A, it's a vitamin A vitamin. That was in 1912. You had also this cat here, his name was Joe Goldenberger, right? Around 1950, he was Hungarian born out of Jews living in New York. He tried to prove that sugar and refinery and grains itself and rice was, especially bleached rice, processed rice, the way they do rice, right, was causing disease called pellagra, Pell Agra, pellagra, right? He tried to prove to an American medical association and his skeptics by injecting himself with this pretty much disease. He swallowed intestinal discharge from victims. Intestinal discharge. Is that poop? Is that like pretty much shit they eat? Discharge, intestinal, that's the only thing I can think of, this intestinal discharge, fam. He ingested that. He trying to prove that, hey, I'm not catching this disease. Number one, because I'm not really on eating sugar like that, fam. And on them grains like that, fam. And that's what's causing this particular disease at that time, right? What was that? I told you 1915, around that time, early 1900s. We also learned in the last one, August the 23rd, 1936, that's when they came up with the vitamin B by Dr. Robert Williams. Okay, it took them about 28 or more years to come up with the vitamin B vitamin, fam. So they put in some work, family. And then you had the old scientific name that they took off certain things for, kind of confuses about sugar. And the new word was carbohydrates, which pretty much, if you see the word carbohydrates, they talking about what? Sugar, family. That's what it's another, but they made it a scientific name. That was some years back, right? Now, sugar increased the need of vitamin B1, so it strips us of certain vitamins, and like I was saying earlier, a certain electrolytes or enzymes or certain minerals, especially the overconsumption of it, especially we living with sucrose. Okay, we're not talking about or maltose or something like that. We're not really talking about fructose from the actual fruits, or they used to call it grape sugar at one time. I think it was another name for it. And we're not also talking about glucose to a degree, but that's mainly coming from the plant, as well as certain meats and stuff breaks down into glucose and starches and stuff like that. But nothing beats that fructose as far as its angstroms. That it gives all this energy that it gives off, you know what I mean? I think I tore that word up again. Let's hope not. But it's angstroms, angstroms of energy that it gives off. Now, in 1816, they made illegal for brewers have sugar in their pretty much brews. They started around the early, I guess, 1800s. They starting to now, late 1700s into the 1800s. Now they starting in their beers adding sugars and stuff. If I think at one time they didn't, right? So now they starting to put sugars in it. So by 1836, allowed only to make a syrup from sugar for darkening the beer. Okay, and they pretty much added molasses. Now check this out, fam. In the early 1900s, you know how many brothers don't went to prison, or even sisters don't went to prison for cocaine, heroin, opium, and stuff like that, fam. Do you know some people? Huh? Talk to me, fam. Talk to me. I bet you do. It's just for you in the black community, even in white communities as well, definitely, you know what I mean? Um, Come to find out, fam, in the early 1900s, these drug pushers, it was legal back then. You go to like CVS or Walgreens, fam, and pick up some opium, some cocaine, some morphine, and even heroin, fam. It was advertised on front page newspapers and different magazines, and it was like considered the cure for everything from syphilis to bad breath. I mean, you got a toe fungus. They saying go sniff you some cocaine or something, right? Opium. Y'all can go look this stuff up, get some of the old ads, and come back to me and let me know about what is all showing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going over a briefing right now about sugar. I'm definitely going to do a lecture soon about sugar. And if y'all like for me to come in and talk to y'all about it, holla at your boy. You know what I mean? Also, if y'all want me to come in, come do a podcast with you, sit down with an interview, just hit me up, and I'll be more than happy to come in and let's chop it up. Okay, now let's move on. In 1890, Coca-Cola advertised described as a wonderful nerve and brain tonic and a remarkable therapeutic agent. So when Coca-Cola soda came out in 1890s, fam, they was advertising it as a wonderful nerve and brain tonic, family, and a remarkable therapeutic agent, fam. So when you think about it, in a sense, they already knew it have some type of effect upon our nerves and our brains chemistry. You see what I'm saying? This is them with Coca-Cola. They saying, they had the coca and the coca plant, which is cocaine, and the cola bean or cola, which is also like caffeine and stuff like that. So they had us pumped up and still do off of sodas and what have you. It gets a little bit more deeper in a minute. If y'all just stay tuned, I'm still talking about sugar. I might have to do a part 1, part 2, because they only give me like 15 minutes when I pre-record and stuff like that, right? Here on IG, that is, fam. So let's move forward. January 1st, 1907, you had a Dr. Willis, right? Excuse me, give me a second. Let me drink some of my orange juice. Orange juice and oranges and what else I had? Some bananas. I jumped. I did, but you know what? My oranges, fam, was looking like a grapefruit would look, fam, like a pink grapefruit. I'm like, what? They messing with stuff when stuff looking like other fruits, man. That's just sad. Anyway, let's get back to this information here. Let's go back to 1907, January 1st. Dr. Willie, he had what was called the Bureau of Chemistry. The Bureau of Chemistry was empowered to police the U.S. food industry. He wrote a book, The History of a Crime Against the Food Law. Let's look at that book again. The History of a Crime Against the Food Law, fam. They cracked down on this dude, Dr. Willie. You know what I'm saying? Once he got his Bureau of Chemistry investigation up, right? Dr. Willie had what was called the Poison Clan, fam. And the Poison Clan, you know what I'm saying, part of their job is going around looking for poisonous type food, added ingredients. They ain't believe in no preservatives in your food, additives in your food, excess sugars in your food, all this stuff, or what they also considered false advertisement. So you had to actually label it on your stuff. Matter of fact, they wouldn't even allow you back then to even sell that mess. They wanted the purest, the highest quality whole grains type of foods in their market and in stores back then. This is dealing in the early 1900s, okay, 1907. Let's get ready to go into this. Like I say, if you haven't followed me, go ahead and follow me right here on IG. Word. Now, Dr. Willie's Poison Clan, right, was replaced by by the 30s or 40s or something like that. Grass, the FDA grass. That's GRAS. That's general regarded as safe. Okay, that's when that stuff started coming out. Now the Bureau of Chemistry was dismantled and replaced by the Food and Drug and Insecticides Administration. So before the FDA, there was, of course, the Bureau of Chemistry, who was really on that job, making sure that we wasn't getting a bunch of, nonsense in our body that cause sickness in this land that we live in, right? But however, they shut them down because you know what? You got messing with that Coke business. Matter of fact, the Coca-Cola business, okay? And, you know, before 1907, by 1890, like I just told you, Coca-Cola was already in business. They had spread it, abroad. And here was this dude coming in, Dr. Willie's, talking about pour that stuff. This stuff is unhealthy. Could cause this, that, and the third, right? Talking about the phosphoric acid that's in it. The phosphoric acid could dissolve iron and limestone. Imagine what it's doing to your bones, fam. Especially when the outside of your bone is coated in phosphorus. So phosphoric acid, though, burn right through that's in your sodas and stuff, fam. Okay? Now, then came, like I said, before FDA, there was the Bureau of Chemistry. Then you had when they pretty much shut my brother down, Dr. Willie, in the poison plan. They pretty much came with the Food and Drug and Insecticides Administration. That was first, and then after that came FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, fam. I found that very, very interesting about Dr. Willie's. And y'all, go check him out. He had the Bureau of Chemistry. Okay, that was out way before FDA, fam. He was the real deal, you know what I'm saying? Before they shut him down, family. Now, check this one out. Y'all remember President Nixon, right? Check this out. He was a lawyer, illegal aid here for Pepsi. President of Pepsi Cola became the president of Nixon's foundation after he became president. So before Nixon became president, he was a lawyer of the Pepsi company. And the president of Pepsi Company, after he became president, Nixon, the president of Pepsi Cola, became head of the Nixon Foundation. Ain't that something, fam? So they shows you how this stuff, they saying about lobbyists and all these people in governmental officials. A lot of time when they electing people in certain positions and all that, they really part of some other organizations that's trying to undermine the people's overall, and they slipping them all this bread, you know what I mean, and putting these people in certain positions. Maybe even head of a segment of the government, or head of a certain department to oversee us, or to make sure they pass certain rules and laws and regulations. You know what I mean? And these the same people that's making this stuff. A lot of times it's crazy. All right, so yeah, I thought that was very interesting to see that. Now you eating proteins and sugar. Don't mix, fam. The body gonna break down more. What I mean by proteins and sugar. Well, a lot of stuff already covered and got sugar in it already, family. So when we eat it, it ain't even digesting properly. It's fermentating in our body, rotting and everything else. But one of the things I'm talking about, two things that we be doing when we eating, and one of them is while we eating, we're going to sit there and we're going to take something and we're going to wash it down while we're eating with something to drink. Not a good look. Okay, you know, messing up your hydrochloric acid in your stomach. And so now your food can't even burn in and break down, metabolize properly. That's number one. Do not drink while you're eating. Now, here we go. You know, let's say you had a steak. And your steak and potatoes, right? And or even your chickens or whatever. And then you sat there and you smell that old pie or maybe even ice cream. May not even get 5-10 minutes after you finish your meal. It took you 5 minutes to eat the meal because you don't chew properly. You know what I mean? And then swallow without even properly chewing. That's number one off the bat. So you're still not digesting properly. But anyway, took you 5 minutes to eat. 5 minutes later, here you is. Now ready for your slice of pie. You ready for your ice cream. You ready for the goodies, them sweets, some sugars that I'm talking about right now. You really causing havoc in your body, fam. Not only that, you know, the fermentation, your body gonna sit there and let that steak and potato, you know, sit there while it sit there and break down the ice cream and the pie, because that's gonna be a little bit more easier for it to break. Well, not really easier because the sucrose, but still it's a more easier process for the body to worry about this sugar over here than to worry about that chunk of meat that's going to sit there and rot, putrefy, turn into magnets, or very much we'll call them parasites and worms. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying, fam. Y'all call me up, man. And if y'all need a consultant, and let's do an assessment on you and see if you really have these bugs flying around, you know, moving around in your body. Some of your aches and pains and different things that you're going through may be due to parasitic measures, undigested food measures that are mold and pretty much rotting in your body, which is causing all the sickness in your blood, because there's stuff getting in your bloodstream now, and you might need a good cleanse and detox as well, family. And definitely, if you're overconsumption of sugar, fam, that's what we're talking about, sugar, okay? Check this out. The largest sugar customers for the sugar companies, guess who they are? Guess. Okay, you got the first one. Okay, food industry. That's correct. The food processing industry, all that processing food, they add mad sugar, fam. But guess what the second one is? What got me like, what? Tobacco, family. They're not required to give you that information, other than, you know, Surgeon General that tobacco could cause, you know, lung cancer and other sickness. But they saying there's some research that one of the reasons why people getting cancer smoking is because of the sugar content that's in it. You smoking sugar now. I'm like, what? Yeah, fam. Yeah. There's sugar in your tobacco, your cigarettes. They saying 5% sugar added to cigarette products. They saying 20% is pretty much in cigars, fam. And as much as 40% in pipe tobacco, mostly in the form of molasses and such, you know, to give it that certain brown taste. But I don't do pipe tobacco or anything like that. So for those who do, up to 40% sugar is added to these products. Not only that, they saying the way it's a couple of different curing processes that they use, and one will cause the tobacco to have more sugar as the end result once they finish going through its processes than the other one, due to the way that they process it and get it ready for the market, family. That's crazy, right? They saying by 1960s, by the time the 60s came, you know, we definitely was talking about black power and black development in our communities, right? Before we integrated and felt we was and became powerless. I feel that's just my view. You know what I mean? So that was after the 60s. They saying in the 60s is when sugar craze began to peak. Sugar was in processed food and all the processed food had jumped at 50%, an increase of 50% in all our foods, fam. That's crazy, right? Now, in 1558, tobacco plant was brought to Europe by Philip II of Spain to investigate the flora and the fauna of Mexico. So really, tobacco was really, of course, we know it was from the native Indians, but even then it was used for spiritual reasons or medical reasons. Matter of fact, when they started really promoting tobacco in Europe, okay, they were saying that tobacco was pretty much a medical plant, and it was called nicotinia, thought to possess healing powers, became a healing drug of that time. So now tobacco in there, man, was also, a healing agent. Of course, they took it to extremes, okay? Overconsumption, glutamines of it all. Okay. Was around the 17th century, they saying tobacco addiction spread throughout Europe. Excuse me. But at the same time, the way that they cure tobacco, its natural sugars in the plant could be up as much as 20% by weight, like I was saying a minute ago. Okay? And then sucrose added to air-cured tobacco during the blending process. That's the air cure. Like I said, there's a couple of different ways that they cured it or got it ready, prepared for the market. Okay? I think, I don't went in about 30 minutes on this particular video, and I hope that I gave y'all some information that y'all could utilize. I'm getting ready to end this video, and and we're gonna have some more. I'm gonna continue this thing about sugar. So y'all make sure y'all take and subscribe if you're on YouTube watching this, and press that like button for getting to the algorithms. And if you're on IG, go ahead and follow me, fam, and give me your comments, and definitely call me up for consultations. Also, for video podcast. Yeah, video podcasts, I guess you could say. Radio interviews, lectures, small groups, big groups. It doesn't really matter. I'm looking to come into your town and lay that information down, and I hope everybody's being blessed. And I'll get back with y'all. It's so much more. I can go on for another 30, 40 minutes, but I really want to, just give y'all some basics and heads up of what I've been learning about sugar. And, oh yeah, if you're going on a long trip, please avoid glucose and sucrose, family. Try not to eat a lot of heavy sugars because you get drowsy. They saying that a lot of accidents on the road, that they don't know, what happened to the person. They could have been drunk off sugar or high off sugar, you know what I'm saying, because things could turn into alcohol in your body. You know what I'm saying, when you mix certain foods together with the sugar, fam. Anybody, brothers have been locked up or whatever, how y'all make y'all wine? Don't you have to use some sugar? Let it ferment. Same thing with what's going on in our body, family. The body's fermentating and not really processing these sugary products the way that you may think it is. And we condulge in this addiction because that's part of the game, fam. To get you hooked like you on crack. You know what I'm saying? And you running around, your kids spaced out, jumping around, you giving them whoopings, talking about they hard-headed, ain't listening. The school's putting them on different Ritalin and all these different things. They got ADHDs and all these intention diseases and sicknesses, even down, like I was saying last time about Benjamin Rush, the first mental disease was called niggitude. Y'all go look these things up, you know what I'm saying? And so when we on this sugar like that, family, and pumped up like that, family, especially like kids, you know what I'm saying? Don't just beat the kids, you might need to beat you, you know what I'm saying, for giving your kids this stuff since they was a child, you know what I'm saying, since they were born. You know, even you breastfeeding the baby sugar, you know what I mean? Because you eating all that crap, you know what I mean? Instead of eating the whole natural stuff from God, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be the breads, the grains, the beans, the fruits and vegetables, and the berries, family. One love, I'm out.